Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about the next 2 episodes of BB7 All-Stars.
BB7 All-Stars, this is a good week.
This is, finally.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there is a link in the description. I say finally. I mean, I've been enjoying this season so far for sure. But like, this is the first week that things are changing. The power dynamics in the house are shifting because season 6 has just been running the show for the first like 5 weeks of the game, it feels like.
Right. And even though we come into this as fans of season 6, you still like you want it to be mixed up. You got to shake it up.
For sure. Yeah, that's what we enjoy about this game. Now, I will say the house is pretty disgusted by Janelle's recent move, right? Like nobody's really that happy except for Janelle and Chilltown that Diane has walked out the door. Like nobody else thinks that was like a good move. That really was just a move for Janelle and Chilltown.
Yeah, the rest of season 6 is like, why would she do that? And then our people in the middle, I hate to call them floaters, but our group of 5 in the middle obviously feel attacked. They feel targeted. So they're not happy at all.
Yeah.
And how many weeks have we had season 6 in power? So they are like, oh my gosh, we have to change this up.
Yeah, right.
Like pronto.
Right, because they're realizing like the more people in the middle in that floater group go out, the more they're realizing like, okay, season 6 is working with Chilltown. And if we don't shake this up, then we're screwed. Like they're just going to pick us off one by one, you know, like that's how they're feeling. Right. And I think they're right. So we're in the middle of this web HOH that started at the end of the previous episode. And it's kind of a boring comp.
Yeah, we didn't like it when we saw it at the end of the last week when we were talking. We were like, what is this?
Yeah.
And yeah, we start this episode with them just chilling on a bunch of ropes. It's like,
I know.
What are we just sitting here?
Nobody
we can sit here for days.
Nobody is struggling, and they keep like cutting away in the edit to like packages of different things because there's just nothing compelling to watch in this rope sitting competition. Yeah. Like it's not even hanging. And so that, you know, we're getting a package where everybody's calling Howie fat and talking about how much weight he's gaining in the house. And it's just like, what is wrong with these people?
These people are awful. They're just awful. And like, I expect it from Will. Yeah. But when Danielle sat him down to be like, you're eating too much and gaining weight, I was like, no.
Right.
Okay. First off, here's my TED talk, you guys. If someone is eating a lot, something's going on with them. Are they depressed? Are they stressed? Like, I eat my feelings, as do a lot of people. So if you see someone you care about doing that, talk to them about what's going on and see if you can help them through it, because it has nothing to do with gaining weight. It has to do with the inner mental issues that they are processing.
Exactly. And I also feel like it's silly to come and be like, I'm really concerned you gained 5 pounds. Like, who cares? But if he's eating like ice cream and M&Ms and, you know, junk food all day long, like that is like not great for your health. So that's like a different angle to approach it from, but they're just all calling him fat and it just is so uncomfortable.
It's so unacceptable. I can't handle it. I can't handle when people get all up in someone else's eating habits.
Yeah.
Faith, thank you so much for the super chat. Potatoes.
Thanks,
do slap. That is accurate.
Indeed. Especially
talking about food. Yes. So thank you. Anyway, I was like, I made a note of like, why do I feel so protective of Howie this season?
I know.
Because last season we were like, oh, he's so gross. And now I say last season, but you know, chronologically BB6. But this season I'm like, stop being so mean to Howie.
I know, because they're showing us less of like, boobies, you know, like that was Howie's thing in season 6. And now it's like just him being a goofball and people really beating up on him for it. And it's like,
no wonder he's eating so much. You guys are being horrible to him.
I know. So we go back to the HOH and Will is, of course, the first person to quit because he doesn't care about winning the HOH. He's ready to walk out of this house whenever. And he might as well try to get a prize in an egg. And thank God he got a rotten egg.
That's what you get. You get a rotten egg. There is karma in the world. That is proof right there.
Yeah.
So after 2 hours of this boring comp, the producers were like, Oh my God. We didn't think this one through.
Right.
So let's have him hang from the rope instead. And I was like,
hello. I mean, it's so boring that Will and Janelle are just inside talking. They're not even watching the HOH comp. There's nothing to see. There's nobody to cheer on. Nobody's doing any better than anybody else. Nobody's struggling. So they're just like inside eating and strategizing. And then finally, like you say, they mix it up, and then this is when things get a little more interesting. Not worlds more interesting, but people do start to quit more. I will say, like, there's not a lot of like actual falling. It's people deciding, I don't want to hang here anymore, and so I want to try to get a prize, which James does, and he gets the vote nullifier. So he's the first one with an actual prize.
Yeah, and he says, like, I feel pretty safe, so I'm just going to drop and get that. That's a great prize. Boogie falls, it drops, and he gets the 10K.
Yeah, but he's not going to celebrate.
No.
You know, he doesn't care about that money. Like, he's just frustrated that he lost HOH. He's putting on an act, of course.
Yeah, which is actually the nicest thing Boogie's done so far in this is not rub that in.
Right.
Who else? Kaser falls.
Egg. And then, so then everybody knows that it's the slot pass, which is the only thing left.
Last one.
And earlier in the competition, I think it was Danielle had called out, like, can we all just agree that if somebody gets the slot pass, we're giving it to George? And everybody kind of agrees. Some people more begrudgingly than others, but everyone's like, yeah, that's fair. Like, we'll give the slot pass to George. Yeah. But knowing that it's the slot pass that's left, George is not dropping.
Come on. They're all like, George. It's the slot pass. Get it. Right. And he's like, no, I will hold on for HOH. Right. And I'm like, are you serious, George? You can't. I'm sorry, but you can't.
Yeah. And nobody's targeting you also. Like, I mean, I know you were on the block like a couple of weeks ago, and that's why you're in this slot mess, because you had that win that power of veto. But like, I just drop so you can eat food.
He probably feels like he's always going to be targeted because he is on the outs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was such a shame that Marcellus is the next one to drop, takes the slot pass, and then George falls.
Yeah, I know. Right afterwards.
Well, there was a fall, David. That was a fall.
That was an actual fall. George fell. I think George was the one person who legitimately fell in the whole competition. Yeah.
But now Marcellus says, oh, I wanted that pass. So he's keeping it at this point. And I was like, oh, he forgot that they all promised it to George.
Yep. Selective amnesia there. So then we're left with Danielle, Erica, and Howie. And Howie's like, I don't know how he got gloves, but he has gloves on that he's hanging from the ropes with. Danielle does not have gloves. I can't recall if Erica did, but he's like holding on for dear life. Sweat is dripping down his face, getting into his eyes. Like, he's clearly struggling. Danielle almost falls, but then she's like, nope, I'm not doing it. And she like hooks her ankles back into the ropes, and everybody's cheering for her. But then Danielle and Erica kind of talk Howie into dropping. They're promising him safety. They just want to get him out. They want the last season 6 person to go. And because they want it to be one of them who's in power.
It's so funny because they were like openly, or at least Danielle was like, Howie drop.
She's trying to like get in his head, I think. Yeah.
I was like, you are being very like to the point though. I mean, it's one thing to be like, I'm here all day, Howie. I won't put you up, I promise, but I'm not going anywhere. So go ahead and drop. But she was like, drop. And I was like, which kind of made like Will like cheer him on and be like, no, Howie, stay up, Howie. Just to be contrary, really.
Yeah, of course, that's Will's game. But then Howie eventually does drop. I think it's a combination of him feeling like he had very little left in the tank, and also the fact that Danielle and Erica were promising him safety. And so he's like, okay, cool, I made a deal. Like, great, I'm out. Like, I don't need HOH if I'm safe this week. Yeah. He was about to drop, I'm sure. So he looked like he was really struggling. But then as soon as he's down, Erica and Danielle just did a quick like check-in, and Danielle was like, I got this. And she was like, great. Yeah.
Erica was like, you take it.
Yeah, she did not want HOH. She's like,
I'm so under the radar right now. You go right ahead.
Yeah, right. So now we're dealing with, Danielle is the HOH. There's a new power dynamic in the house. James sits Janelle down and he's like, just so you know, we are all going to be paying for your decisions this past week.
Yeah, well, first, James is like clearly celebrating with Danielle. He's celebrating with Boogie. Like, it is clearly he's with the Legion of Doom. Like, he is all about it. By the way, one of the best names for an alliance ever.
Yeah.
I was so glad that they finally like brought it up so we could talk about it. But yeah, so he's celebrating. Then season 6 is sitting together being like, who's safe? Who's she going to put up? Like, they obviously feel in danger. And yeah, James doesn't hold back. He's just like, yep, you're the one who did this.
You did it.
You.
We're all in danger now because of you. And she's like, what?
She was like, why? She really did act like she didn't understand how this game works.
Oh,
I'm like,
God.
you've done this before, you know.
Right.
Tit for tat.
So we see Danielle's HOH room, which is like much different from Janelle's.
It was.
But she's also like got pictures of actual like children, husband in the room.
Yeah.
And like that's been part of Danielle's story this season is how much she misses her kids. And she's here playing for her family. And she like almost got her family the money last time. And she's back to get it this time. So that's like kind of a nice little emotional component of her HOH room. George is kind of relating to that because he's also got kids. They're like the only two parents in the house. So.
So then just real quickly, James calls Janelle an Anna Nicole Smith wannabe. Unacceptable.
Thank you, James.
And then we have the pizza party.
Now it seemed like this just happened because the producers are being nice. Like the storage room got restocked and they went in and look, there's a bunch of pizzas there. Like
it happens occasionally.
Night of fun. But we do know that Marcellus has got the slop pass here. So poor old George is laying face down on a bed. Very despondent.
Yeah, I mean, when you first just see George laying on the bed, everyone's eating pizza, and he just looks so depressed and defeated. And I'm just like, oh my God, George, what you are doing. I mean, honestly, what George is doing right now just like really made me put everything in perspective. I've been on lockdown for 4 months.
Yeah.
We have to wear masks when we go outside. Like, life is tough, you guys, but look what Chicken George did.
That's oh my God, Sarah, that's actually good motivation.
Yeah.
Because we didn't eat slop 24 hours a day for like 3 weeks, much less 60 days, which is what he's potentially in store for. Yeah. Good point.
But just remember that when life gets tough, you guys, Chicken George.
Yeah.
It'll get you through.
Yes.
But so then we like go on and on because Marcellus does eventually like feel bad and he wants to give George the pass, but George is like, no. And I'm like, what are you doing, George?
Why are you saying no?
Take it.
Yes.
Take it. But eventually he breaks down.
Yeah. Because Marcellus like pulls him aside. George is like, can I please talk to you privately? And Marcellus is like, why are we even talking? Like, just take the thing. And he like looks George straight in the eye and he's like, I would not give you this pass if I didn't want to give you this pass. Just take it and have some pizza, please.
Yeah. And remember it later. I feel like that was a good thing because George seems like the type of person who probably wanted to, pay him for it or like do something in return. And I think Marcellus was like, just remember it later then, and maybe that helped George to be like, okay, I'll pay him back at some point when I can.
I'll use the veto on him or something along. And I think George will stand by something like that. Like he strikes me as the kind of guy who like remembers those kind of favors. And if he has the chance to pay Marcellus back, I think he probably will, So
then we watch George eat a pizza.
Sarah.
With that music.
I don't think I've ever enjoyed eating pizza myself than I did watching George eat pizza. Because it's the slow-mo camera footage and the like this like sweeping music. And he takes that first bite and I was like, this is so cathartic.
Yes, it was. It was like sentimental and romantic and like sweet and charming. It was like he loved that pizza and I just loved it for him.
I know.
That edit was hilarious.
It was so good. So good.
So good.
Now we've got to get into the plan here. So Danielle, once that's all done, Danielle sits down with James. And she's like, I got a plan and you're not going to like it. I need you to be a pawn against Janelle because I need someone who can beat her in the veto competition. And he's like, is there nobody else? And she's like, kind of no.
Yeah. He's like, bad idea. What are you doing to me? No, 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 no. And of course, we all agree. You don't ever want to go be a pawn. You never know what's going to happen. Like, it's not a guarantee, even though someone can promise you up and down.
Yeah.
But the reality is she's right. She's like listing off, like, Will can't win a comp.
Yeah.
Boogie's foot's hurt.
Yeah.
What, like literally they have no options and they know Janelle can win comps.
Right. Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely focused on like, let's have one of the Legion of Doom be the pawn. So, they're not considering people like Kaser. Like Kaser could potentially beat her, but like Kaser wouldn't want to try to beat Janelle, or I mean, he would if he was on the block, but I don't know that he's going to be working with Danielle like that. So that she really only has James, Will, and Boogie as options. And she's totally right. James is the only one who has any kind of chance to beat Janelle. And he was the veto king in BB6. So she's thinking like, this is a smart plan strategically.
Yeah. I mean, he tries. He's like, well, it was, but, but like ultimately, I'm sure it didn't take him too long to realize like he kind of has to do it.
And then he also flings another insult at Janelle and is like, well, she's not the same woman she was last year. She's a fat POS this year. And I'm like,
oh my God, these people. I have never heard so many people call someone fat so much. I probably heard it like 3 times in my life. And like now I'm hearing it every single episode. It feels like.
Right.
Unacceptable.
I know. So Danielle continues to make the rounds. She's talking to Marcellus and he's suggesting like, I think you should go Janelle and Kaser.
Yeah.
I think he's not. I mean, he brings up James. He's like, he can be more helpful to us later on. But I think he's not suggesting James in this moment because he thinks Danielle's kind of in with him. So he doesn't realize that she's like, throwing James up as a pawn, but also to like throw people off of her alliance with James. Right. And then she sits with Kaser, and Kaser is a bad liar in this moment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, like she has to sit down with just about everyone one-on-one. And like, this is typical. And they're both sort of blowing smoke up each other's boohoos. But like she asks questions and he can't even answer them. Right. It was like fumbling over why the noms went down the way they did. Okay. You have an answer for how noms went down. You can't just be like, I think let me see why did we do that? Like, no. Sorry.
Right. Well, because she like asked him, I love the way she did, because she asked him, I forget what exactly the questions were that led to the kind of like bomb she dropped on him. But she like asked him a couple of like softball easy questions. And then she was like, so why did Janelle not nominate Mike and Will together?
Yeah.
And he was like,
what was that reason?
Gosh,
she did. She was like, did you make a deal with Chilltown? He's like,
yes.
No.
Yeah, right.
And did Janelle make a deal with Chilltown? No. She's like, and so why were these noms? And he's like, yes. It was a little bit like that.
He was not prepared for that. But she's still telling him face to face. She's like, listen, Kaser, like you are one of the only people I can trust in this house. Like you respect the game. I respect the game. And, you're trustworthy. You're one of the only people I can count on. But I have to assume that she saw through this. We didn't get any DRs from her saying like, I know Kaser's lying to me, but it was so epically bad on his part that she had to be like, well, this guy, he can't even come up with a halfway decent lie. He's just fumbling and silent and staring off into the distance. So, okay, I can't trust him.
Yeah, I think she knows that she can't trust him and is not planning on working with him. But ultimately, her target is Janelle. So, she's going to go with the plan that she thinks makes the most sense.
Right.
And so we come to noms, and she does put up Janelle and James. And James just loves that he gets to act.
Yeah.
And be like so shocked and upset by this.
Yes, and he's getting into character by channeling all the frustration and anger that he feels towards Janelle and directing that at Danielle. You just have to find your inspiration from what's true in your life, Sarah. Like that's how you act. Okay. And so James is very much acting in this moment. Very proud of himself for this performance.
Thank you. Yes. Very proud. I do want to just circle back to Danielle's thought process here a little bit, because I understand that Janelle is the target. Janelle ticked off that middle group of 5. Danielle's worried about her safety with Janelle. So I understand that. But if you're questioning is, did you make a deal with Chilltown? Did Janelle make a deal with Chilltown? Because why did you guys not put up Chilltown? Why is Danielle not putting up Chilltown? Like, what if Chilltown is the threat, the concern, the two people that should have gone up? Why are you not putting them up?
Right. Yeah. So now Kaser could, theoretically turn around and be like, you came at me asking, why didn't we put up Chilltown? Why didn't we put up Chilltown? And then you put up two people from my alliance. So what does that mean for your relationship with Chilltown? Do
you have a deal with them too? Like, I just feel like everyone could point fingers and be like, so you have a deal. Oh, so you made a deal. And then you could probably be like, oh, we all have deals with the same people? Oh, red flags.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Well, we're not there.
Nobody wants to put up Chilltown. Nobody wants to do that. And you make an excellent point there. I hadn't even really considered, like, Danielle's kind of like showing her hand a little bit that maybe she's got to deal with Chilltown with this move. But I do think, like, the house has just been so focused on season 6 and breaking it up since the beginning. And this is their first opportunity that she's got a little bit of cover there to say, like, we've just been focused on them all season. So I had to take my shot the first chance we got,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's no questioning. Janelle is a target at this point. Yeah. It makes sense.
Right.
Okay. Episode 14 we're going into, and James is still acting.
He's
award-winning performance over here. Just doing his role, playing his part.
He is. Yeah. And the house is buying it because, it seems like most people are shocked that he's on the block. I think that most people recognized a little bit.
Janelle are like, whoa.
Right.
Even Marcellus is like, oh, I thought you had a
type, but apparently not. Now, Janelle's the first one that we see sit down and say, this feels like James is a decoy. She's sitting with Kaser and she's like, it doesn't make any sense, like, it's too good to be true. So it's probably not true. Like, it feels like I'm just the target and James is there as a pawn in Danielle's plan to get me out. She's already putting the pieces together.
But she's putting the pieces together, but she doesn't really buy it because nobody else is supporting that. Janelle does think of it, but I don't think she believes it. I don't think she sticks with it. Kaser doesn't believe it. They don't think James would actually do that. I think it falls apart.
Yeah, it's hard to, like, come up with a theory like that in the Big Brother house. And when no one around you is like, you know what? Yeah, you might be onto something. It's hard to not just let that go. Like, it's hard to cling to something when no one around you is like, I think you're onto something there, So you're right. She does kind of let it go.
We get this odd moment where Chicken George comes into Danielle's HOH and he's talking about how he just, like, she's going to make it to the end, but he can't do it.
Can't do it. I was like,
wait.
Since when?
What are we doing? Like, well, first off, I get it. You've been on slop for 1,000 days.
Right.
But you've got a pass this week. So shouldn't you be feeling at your best?
And there's no mention of, like, I can't eat slop for another, 35 days. Like, I just can't do it, Danielle.
Right.
It's just a comment of, like, I can't play anymore. And it's very vague and I don't really know what's going on. There's no justification. I miss my family. Everybody here's a liar. I've been on the outs the whole time. I can't make my way in. It's just like, I can't play anymore. And so I'm like, why? What is happening?
I was waiting for the next thing to be, so please put me up if somebody wins veto. Like, I thought that's where he was going with that, but we didn't ever get that. It was just like, I'm here for you. And she was like, okay, great. And they hug as both being the only parents in the house.
Right.
And they support each other.
It was strange.
Yeah, it was strange. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Now, we do get, some more segments of, like, Howie annoying the house. He's annoying Will and Janelle. But really what's important is we get to pick the veto players. And I forget the order that it goes down. Is it Danielle who picks Will first?
Yeah, Danielle picks Will.
Yeah.
Then Janelle gets house guest choice. And she chooses Marcellus because apparently she wasn't given many options.
strange how that works, that you wouldn't have options after you've basically pissed off everybody in the house by getting Diane out the week before.
That's one thing.
But I mean,
that happened.
She normally would rely on like a Kaser or a Howie, but they both, apparently told her, we can't pick between you and James. So we can't promise that we were going to use it on you if we win the veto. So she decides that Marcellus is her best option. Little does she know that like Marcellus is also annoyed with her and not really going to play for her. And he kind of admits that in the DR as soon as he's chosen.
Yeah, unfortunately, she just has no choices. Like, great, Marcellus nodded along, but he's not really going to use it on you.
Yeah.
Well, did we say James picks Boogie?
James picks Boogie. No. Yes, that was the last one.
Okay, so great. We're set up with this is best case scenario for Danielle and Legion of Doom and all the people who want Janelle out.
She's thrilled. She's got 5 people against 1. Janelle's all on her own. Sure.
Great odds.
Yeah.
Well, until you get to this veto. Now, this is one of those tricky vetoes.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to the one where Chicken George had to do whatever he had to do to save himself.
Yeah.
This is like, what are you willing to do, basically?
Yes, and there are many temptations in this veto to prevent you from winning the power of veto. So they are all like laying outside in these like open graves, and the rest of the players are inside. Erica is hosting like via microphone, and she's offering up punishments and rewards, and taking certain punishments and rewards either grants you veto points or takes away veto points, and the person with the most points at the end wins, right? Yes. So Danielle is thinking like everybody is going to be taking all of these punishments away from Janelle, and we're all set. Like it's going to be so easy to be here in this veto comp.
Yeah, everyone's going to be working together, 5 versus Janelle, and so let's go. Oh no. Well, obviously, Chilltown, they don't give a hoot. No. They don't care. They're like, what? Rewards? This is amazing.
Uh-huh.
So they're doing rewards left and right. Janelle, obviously, is going to do everything she can, right?
Yep.
We know that. We would also assume James would if he felt in danger, right?
You would assume
James he's on the block.
Right.
He could go. You're gonna do as much as you can to win this veto, right?
But the way this veto works is just like too tempting for these people because they're told that no one will ever know who picked what. It's not like they're gonna reveal
it's up to you to reveal that.
James picked the margarita party and whatever. It's all secret. We know, but we actually don't see it happening during the competition. It's just a lot of like where we see random people clicking. And
I didn't even realize that they knew, but they could turn around and see their points. So they knew in that moment. I didn't know that. Yeah. Because I thought, Janelle's just going to keep going because she doesn't know what she has.
Sure.
And same thing with Danielle. Like, I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
And get what I can. No, they were figuring it out. They knew what they were getting. And yet James decides to waste points on a margarita house party. Why do you care about a house party?
What does he care about the morale of the house?
Yes, he doesn't care about that. He wasted points on a phone call home, which I do get that that's nice. But like, it's just Sarah. It's just your girlfriend. What are you doing? You're on the block.
I know.
What? Danielle is like having an actual like meltdown at the thought that she's not going for that phone call.
I know.
And James is like, cool, I'll talk to Sarah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And like, who does he think is like playing in his stead? I guess he's relying on Danielle to win this veto because like, you've got to realize, James, that if Janelle wins, you are left on the block and someone is going up against you. Like, it's just like a stunning display of feeling too safe. And I really could not believe it.
And honestly, doesn't he want Janelle to go, though? Also, let's assume he's as safe as can be. Doesn't he want Janelle to go? So why wouldn't he do his part to make sure Janelle doesn't win?
Yeah. But Janelle was like answering, she was like on Jeopardy, right? She was going to be the first one to ring in on every single thing because the way it all plotted out, there's TVs and $10,000 or $5,000 and, slot passes and all this stuff. But the way it balanced out was there are 6 rewards and 4 punishments. So 4 ways to gain veto points and win.
Yeah.
Janelle got 3 out of the 4 and Danielle got 1.
Yeah.
And when it came down to Erica revealing, did this thing get chosen? Because they still don't know, like, who it's not revealing who got what. It's did all this stuff get chosen? But slowly, one by one, Danielle realizes that all of the rewards were accepted, which means that she was on her own playing against Janelle, and she's furious.
Basically, that's the point here, Danielle. Literally, it was Danielle versus Janelle. The rest of them are on summer vacation, just taking breaks. And they were also surprised that they're like, did this happen? Yes. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Sleep on cots? And I'm like, you think Janelle's like, oh, I don't want people to sleep on cots.
She doesn't care. She wants to stay in the house.
Yes. They were acting like a bunch of dodo birds.
I know.
It made no sense.
I know. Yeah.
All right. So Janelle wins.
Janelle wins. And like I said, Danielle is like furious, but she doesn't have a whole lot of time to be mad at the house because the punishment that she chose was solitary confinement for 24 hours.
The one she gets, the one that Janelle did not beat her on, is solitary confinement for 24 hours in a room that people can peek in on. Like, honestly, if you were to put me in solitary confinement, I don't want to see your face.
No.
Like, shut me in.
Black out the window and just let me sit there by myself until the 24 hours is done. But you like have this little window into the outside world, which is like even worse, you know? And it's also like, I didn't think about this at the time, but once it started happening, I was like, this is actually a terrible place to be for an HOH because you're losing control over what's happening in the house during your HOH reign. You're not part of the conversations that are happening because we now know that Janelle is going to come off the block and someone else has to go up. And the rest of the house gets to concoct their plan without Danielle having any say for 24 full hours, which is not good.
Yeah, she's in there just breaking down. She's crying. She's probably thinking about not calling her family.
Yes.
She's thinking about, why am I working with these useless people?
Why were they not supporting me? Is this alliance real? Can I actually trust? Like, she's spiraling for sure. Then on top of all that, the margarita party is happening while she's in the room.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're literally getting drunk, having a fiesta of delicious food. Erica's the only one who's like, this doesn't seem right. I'm not going to partake. But no, the rest of them are like, haha, cheers.
Oh, all dressed up and, you know, getting lit on margaritas while Danielle is like peeing in a bucket. You know, it's just awful.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Okay, but during this time, Will comes up with a master plan.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
You know, Marcellus is the target, you guys. And here's what we got to do. Because he's talking to Boogie. We got to keep the focus on season 6. They are our shield. You know, this is like on Survivor, we talk about meat shield strategies. That's what Chilltown is doing with season 6 right now. And so he's saying, like, let's just frame Marcellus for taking all these rewards and put him up on the block and send him out the door. And then we'll still have season 6 in front of us next week. Yeah.
I mean, Will is great at like, it's almost the Sandra strategy of anyone but me.
Yeah.
He's like, who can I make the target right now? And he made season 6 the target for weeks. And now he's like, well, if they start chiseling away at season 6, then what? Are we the targets next? So let's move it to someone else. Yeah. Marcellus took all the rewards, you guys. He's got the money, the TV, he's got it all. And people buy it. They eat up everything Will says.
Which is crazy because Marcellus literally only has the slop pass. Like that's the only thing he got in the competition. But they're just gonna, you know, they can do this. Nobody knows who had what. And everybody, you know, we saw people comparing notes on like, what did you take and what reward did you get? What penalty did you take and all this? People are kind of telling half truths about everything. And so it's kind of easy to then turn around and be like, well, Marcellus, he got the money. You know, they don't even have to do it with him there. They're just planting the seeds with people. They're saying, well, Marcellus got the $5,000 too. You knew that, right? Oh, well, he did. You know, that's how they're playing this. Yeah.
Yep. So most people in the house buy into this, but of course, let's wait 24 hours. Then Danielle exits.
Yes.
Her horrible thing. And she comes out, 2 people pitching this to her.
Oh, yeah. She's like, so guys, like what's happening? Like what did I miss? And they're like, well, we're gonna get Marcellus out. And she's like, what? We are? Okay, that's not what we set out to do at the beginning of this week. Last I checked, Marcellus was not on season 6. So what is the strategy here?
She's like, for once, I might actually have Marcellus as a number right now. Are you kidding me? I just sat in that room for 24 hours because y'all didn't play this veto with me.
Right.
And now you want me to just like change the plan. Luckily, she, thinks for herself and is like, no.
Someone else is going to put up Marcellus.
Yeah.
Not this woman. Okay. Yeah. So we don't even see her push back. We don't see any diary room sound bites of her saying like, I'm absolutely not putting Marcellus up on the block. We just get to see her at the veto ceremony. And I like the way she did this because she's like, well, Janelle, vetoes herself. And then Danielle's like, Howie, I know that I promised on my kids and my family that I would not put you up. And I thought she was going to be like, but have a seat.
Yeah.
But then she's like,
I was like,
wait, so what? I'm going to honor that. And Kaser, you are the replacement.
Yeah. I like that she reminded us about that.
Yeah.
But also I was like, wait, why would she put Howie up? Like, honestly, if you are ranking season 6, you're going to be more worried about Kaser than Howie.
100%. Yeah. But I think it was also a way to communicate to the house, like, I'm not considering Marcellus. My target is season 6. James is up there. Janelle came off. I'm letting you know Howie is safe because I promised him safety. And that leaves Kaser. That's it. Yeah. That's Danielle's plan.
Yeah. And although we don't get any of this information, we have to imagine that Chilltown, Legion of Doom, however many of these little divided alliances are, they're like, okay, that's fine. She does need to consider her numbers, her group of 5.
Yep.
Because Legion of Doom is not backing her up.
No. Yeah. So she may need to count on people like Marcellus and Erica and George a little bit more than the Wills and the Boogies and the Jameses, Yeah.
We didn't really touch on this, but we did see more of Janelle and Erica falling into Chilltown's traps. Like Janelle is definitely smitten with Will.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Boogie said, how am I going to hook up with Erica in this cot?
And she's like cocking an eyebrow like, you're talking about me?
There is things the building there.
Yeah, things are happening.
To just protect Chilltown even more.
Oh, yeah. They're just putting up walls all around themselves.
Yeah.
So we are with James and Kaser on the block. I would assume that Kaser will go because Kaser hasn't really been working with Chilltown as much as James has, but he kind of made a deal with them a couple of weeks ago. So maybe he could, he does make a comment like, it is not over. Like, I'm going to continue to fight. Yeah. And I believe that from Kaser. So I'm interested to see what happens in this next episode, the eviction episode.
Yeah, they're kind of equal in the fact that they are season 6, and it just comes down to like who they feel like they're working with at that time. Like Danielle and James do have a decent relationship.
Yeah.
But is that going to last? Does Will step up and go, oh, we don't trust James? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
We know that Will and Boogie didn't like Kaser from the beginning, so maybe this is just easy for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of an unfortunate week for Kaser because he essentially is getting backdoored because he didn't get the opportunity to play in the veto.
It wasn't on purpose.
It wasn't on purpose, but that's the effect of it. And then he's also on slop, sleeping on a cot for the whole week. So if this is his last week, what a horrible last week.
Cold water.
Yeah.
I don't have any hot water. That is really, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm not very good without hot water. I like a hot shower.
I know. Yeah. Awful.
Oh, and they took out I think you said this already, but they took out her HOH bed and gave her a cot.
Yes. Oh my God. That was brutal.
It is brutal. It does really stink that the whole house is like sacrificed. Like they have to put up with this stuff. They all have to pay their dues or whatever.
Even the people who weren't playing in the veto. Yeah.
Right. But like, of course, if someone's playing for Veto, they're going to go for all these things.
Of course. I know.
What? Of course. All right, you guys, since we're doing 2 episodes per stream, that means on Wednesday, we will be doing 15 and 16. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, we just did 13 and 14. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So on Wednesday, we will be back live here with episodes 15 and 16 recap. Also, we're still doing Survivor Heroes versus Villains over on Patreon.
Which is so good as well.
So good. And if we get any news on BB22, we will be right back with it for sure.
Yes.
Don't you even worry about that. Of course. We're keeping our ears.
Yes. Ears to the
grind.
ground. And we're going to come with like real or like seemingly real information. Yeah. We're not going to necessarily do like every rumor, every whisper.
No.
We want to come to you guys with stuff that we feel like actually has a little bit of validity to it. So like, stay tuned for our videos are the ones you want to check out because we're commenting on the stuff that is actually maybe legit.
That is like possibly real. Honestly, next weekish is when I think that people will go into sequester. So hoping we start to see people disappear next week.
That will be interesting. Yeah, for sure.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us in the chat. If you were not here with us live, please leave us a comment and let us know how you feel about all of this fat shaming.
Yeah.
And who you would be targeting. And can they ever get Janelle out?
Yeah, that is the question. All right, we will see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.